Good morning, everyone. We'll call the meeting to order. Welcome to our first meeting of the Planning Committee of the new legislature here for the next 2 years. Thank you, everyone, for coming. We have a not a terrible agenda, two voting items and an informational item. The minutes are a little bit weird just because the last minutes were in December and none of us were on the committee then. So, but we'll go ahead and go through the process just the same, and we'll get started. So, are there any corrections to the minutes? Assuming there's none, seeing none, the minutes are approved. Moving forward, the first item on the agenda is confirming appointments by the chairman to of the legislature to the board of directors of the Onondaga Civic Development Corporation, also known as OCDC. We've got 3 high-quality individuals, Christopher Daniel, Michael LaFleur, Kimberly Townsend. Chairman, do you want to say anything?
Sure. These are my appointments. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to get in trouble. Yes, these are my appointments, and I believe this Chris Daniel is new. Constituent of mine, I put out a request for folks that were willing to serve, and I got many, and Chris is a CPA, who's willing and interested in this, and I'm sure that Michael LaFleur and Kimberly Townsend are both, they've been on that board in the past, so I look forward to these folks serving, and I do recommend them.
And I actually recruited Kimberly Townsend when I was chairman to serve on this board, and very impressive individual, and she's done a great job on there as well. So, any questions?
I move that.
Motion, second Palmer. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstention, motion's carried. Okay. Moving on to number 2 for facilities management. Concerning the STEAM school. Archie, the floor is yours.
Good morning, folks. Thank you, Chairman. Good morning. Hi, how are you? So we're here today to ask you to approve a resolution or to move forward a resolution to add $15.5 million to our previous bonding authorization to complete the STEAM school. We received bids in middle of February, and they were over what we had authorized, we had available to us. And we need $15.5 million to award the final contract and begin the work. I know you'll have some questions on where we got there. The estimates drove the original bond authorization. We're in 2019. The authorization was in 2020. Without any opportunity to factor in COVID and the volatile marketplace and the changes that we've experienced over the last 4 years. And that's our shortfall, is $15.5 million. The New York State Department of Education will be reimbursing the Syracuse City School District for this, who will pay us back in their lease agreement with us. We have a lease agreement. County executive has signed it. It's gone past the Syracuse City School Board, and tonight it goes to the County Council for the mayor's signature. So we are protected. We're not going to suffer the circumstances of the additional cost. And the Syracuse City School District has just a 2% investment in that, so they'll be paying the 2% differential as well as the state end, and then we'll be made whole over the course of the bond issuance.
How many years is the bond issuance?
Steve, I believe it's 15.
Is that because it's an existing structure and they can't do a 30-year bond?
Yeah, I mean, we typically would anyway.
Okay.
Maybe we would pay 20, but we're going to 15 to line up with the
That's what the state education department agreed to
Agreed
as well. So,
originally, and the
yeah.
city was fine.
So once this project is completed and the county is made whole, we will then sign over the deed to this building to the Syracuse City School District or the city of Syracuse.
So it's my understanding that the property is the city of Syracuse, the actual, real estate that the building sits on is the city of Syracuse.
But that's,
The city transferred the ownership of the building to the county for $1 about a year ago. That's how we were able to participate. Once the bonds are paid off and the lease is complete, the building will go back to the city of Syracuse.
and then the city of Syracuse will lease it to the Syracuse City School District.
No, we're leasing it to the Syracuse City
No.
School District now.
But afterwards,
Afterwards, all of they won't lease it to them. The city actually owns all of the buildings the school district has. Syracuse City School District, the financially dependent school district. So they don't own their own assets. They're actually owned by the city of Syracuse.
But is there a safeguard in there to continue, right now it's gonna be urban and suburban school, children going to that school, is that gonna continue after the 15 years? When it's not a
My
county?
understanding that the state legislation that authorizes the combination where they have non-city residents as part of the participants in the curriculum is in perpetuity.
Perfect.
And the, city school district will be maintaining the building throughout the course of the lease. So we won't have any investment in operational maintenance.
This is just basically the funding in the past through. Three of us weren't here when that was passed. but
Exactly.
I'll move the motion. I think it's important that we continue this project forward because this is gonna benefit, as I said, suburban and urban, along with everything that's been
everybody.
happening. Everybody, yeah, with,
Yeah.
you know, with.
Is that a
my
second?
comments,
Second.
okay. Any other comments? Okay, yeah, no, yeah, I was chairman when we put this through 4 years ago. And as we know, nothing is the same as it was in 2019, unfortunately. And so, yeah, not surprised that we're seeing this. So, but no, great project. So we'll take a vote, all in favor? Aye. Nays?
I forgot to ask one question, just a question.
Sure,
Is this a
absolutely.
local, GC or are there many local people
So
working on the project?
So the awarded, general contractor of the 4 or 5 prime contracts, the apparent low bidder, they got the notice of intent to award was Renee.
Okay.
The, plumbing contract was, awarded to Burns. The HVAC contract, mechanical contract was awarded to Crosby, they're out of Rochester. And the, electrical contract was awarded to Patricia, which is a Syracuse company.
Thank you. You know, I
Yeah,
like to
no,
keep things
always good to
local.
know.
Thank you for your support.
All right, thank you, motion's carried. Okay, so those were 2 voting items. Now we have an informational item. We're going to have a quick update from the planning department. As far as, we have a outstanding new, plan on Onondaga, our comprehensive plan that we approved, last year. And so just a quick update on that and anything else that's going on over in planning.
Hi, everybody.
Morning.
All right, thanks for having me. So what I gave you as a handout is basically what we submitted to the legislature in December. Anyways, just kind of remind you of what the breakdown of the funding was and what it was intended for generally. Of course. Yeah. And so these revolve around 4 of the 5 things: strong centers, housing in neighborhoods, greenways and blueways. Oh, it's right there. Okay, thanks. And agriculture. And I can speak to, so some of these are community development, some of these are planning. So, but I asked Marty Skane to kind of update us on where they're at with things. So under strong centers, which is mostly our Main Street program and microloans with economic development. Of course, economic development's across the pond right now, so I didn't get much of an update from them, but I know that there was an announcement in the state of the county that that's underway with the small business loans. But community development has received Main Street applications from 21 municipalities requesting $6.75 million in grant funding with a match of $2.5 million for 91 projects. And then I think other applications are currently under review. So that's a pretty good start.
Yeah, he
For the
mentioned
first
two
quarterly
of the
report,
state,
yeah.
two, I think it's Millis and, I can't remember who the other one was.
Yeah,
Tom
already been
Gaddis or
approved.
somebody.
Yeah, Gaddis, yeah, Gaddis.
Yeah, so that's a really great great program, and I know it really helps in our villages and other centers. Under housing and neighborhoods, Marty didn't have anything to update, but we did present the housing study at our recent Planning Federation Symposium. I don't know if any of you were there. Were you there? We usually come to those.
I was.
Yeah. That was really well received. We had a huge
I
turnout.
was there for the lunch.
That was the biggest turnout we've ever had. Yeah, the lunch was good too.
The
So
lunch
that was
was
actually a
good.
really good follow-up.
Yeah.
Because the housing study was, kind of reality and like real numbers, and then the lunch was kind of the positive, like,
Yes.
and you can do all this
The
good stuff.
icing on the cake, so to speak.
Because,
Yeah.
you get into the real numbers and things are like, oh, geez. I don't know. But then Bill Fulton did a great job at the lunch, also talking about housing and the potential of the
Yeah, that was a
county
good
and growth.
presentation.
Yeah. So we were really happy with the reception of it. I think people were ready to hear, kind of the truth and the potential.
Can I
That
hop in?
is really-
So as far as the housing study, is that something you can, not here right now, I'm putting you on the spot, but is that something you can share with the rest of us at next month's meeting or with the legislature in general or, whatever?
Right, so that will be, it should be complete. We have to go through, we have to get it from them and then review it internally.
Okay,
And then it will be ready for release by the end of April. That's what we're looking for.
okay,
So,
good.
Yeah, it's gonna be a quick turnaround. Then we have to work on, what we're working on now is kind of what's the next step with that.
Okay.
Um,
Be wonderful if we could squeeze it in for next month's
Yeah, even draft those.
planning meeting. Yeah, even a draft, yeah.
I'm sure we could put something together, like some summary slides. Things like that. Yeah, there's a lot of information there. So.
Will not promise?
No pressure.
Yeah. Lunch would be great.
No.
Okay. Greenways and blueways, this is the one that we all want to work on that we have a hard time finding the time for, but we did complete and we're reviewing a final RFP for a blueway system plan. We had applied for a grant over the summer, and then the mysteries of New York State DOS, we did not get the grant. I think I know why, but it's okay. But so we are kind of endeavoring to do that on our own with this funding. It'll probably be $200,000 or $300,000, we're guessing, but we'll have to see where the bids come in. It might be less. But basically, to take that map of blueways in the plan and create a systematic way of creating water trails and what that system would look like, and then kind of working with local communities to build out those features and have uniformity and signage and other resources for people. So we have a pretty good idea what we want that plan to be. We just need to hire somebody to do it for us and get that going.
Is your plan to work with other counties like Madison and Cayuga
No,
that
we're
we
just
connect
staying-
to at all, or?
No, that's honestly, even especially now, we just don't have the bandwidth to really expand to that. And we tried to get grants, like we did a 3-county grant with New York State DOS, and they wouldn't fund it, even though it was supposed to be a sure thing.
I was just thinking of the Erie Canal.
So
I
I'm
know
kinda
that
like-
some communities are connected to the Erie Canal.
Yeah,
And
well,
they
we
also
share
go
borders,
through-
right, Saco River.
And I know it's been tough because Madison County just got one for, Canastota and Shenango, but Bayville was not included in Hamlet. So
Right,
or
exactly.
It was not included. Yeah, it's connected and it's part of it, so.
Yeah, and what was it, 4 or 5 years ago, Megan? We did a grant, and it was through, we were working with regional planning, and it included Cayuga, Onondaga, and Madison to have some continuity over those 3 counties, and they didn't fund it. And so even this Blueway plan, because there's so many municipalities and the state is really oriented to municipalities and not counties, I think that was the hang up, was that we'd have to have, how many municipalities, we'd have to have agreements with like 10 municipalities in order to even kind of satisfy their bureaucratic requirements. So we're like, we're just gonna do it. We have enough parkland, like even just on Lake Park alone, we have enough resources. We know that we're working on we're working on waterfront plans in that area with Lysander, Baldwinsville, and Van Buren, hopefully, and Town Clay has a waterfront plan. So I mean, between those communities that already have those waterfront plans, we just need to align with those. And then they'll still be eligible. We think the state said that it should still, even if they didn't fund it, should still be eligible for waterfront funding to put some capital improvements along the shoreline. So,
Good.
but we just need that kind of plan in place so that we can build from that. I think that's
Then
the
you
way.
can for grant funding.
Yeah, exactly. Great question though. And then the same thing with greenways. Right now we just have a labor shortage. Alana Cantrell left. Allison left a couple months ago. So we have 3 positions open, 2 planner 3s and planner 2. So the good news is that we can hire at like a really high level, so people that are experienced and can kind of hit the ground running on things. And one of the things that we really want to hire for is the Greenways and Blueways program as an entirety, so somebody can just run with that in our office. But so we're in the process of advertising for those positions now and going through the hiring process. So there are some projects within the Greenway system. Obviously, like, even though we're using agricultural money, it's under agriculture, but the market and also the inner harbor area, because they're just finishing, we did a joint waterfront plan, the city's just finalizing that now, with New York State, for the inner harbor area, and of course with the aquarium project going on right now. So one of the projects we're working on with the city right now is a planning project to get all the developers on board with the capital open space improvements and street improvements, not so much the development, but the actual like public realm improvements, so that we can use possibly some Greenway funding towards that, and also leverage state dollars for improvements in that area to really make that development complete, and not have to fight over improvements later on. Actually get everybody to agree to it ahead of time. So that's kind of TBD right now, but it's going really well. Everybody's really excited about doing that. And then agriculture. So, always a lot of things going on in agriculture. We did receive a grant from New York State Empire State Development for $100,000 to do a market revitalization study. And that study would look at, and we talked with the market, and they're excited to do it as well. Basically, it looks at
The regional market?
the regional market. So
Okay.
last year they had put out a report and did tours kind of showing how much investment they need in the market. They're both an authority and a public service corporation, is that right? Community benefit corporation.
Yeah, okay,
Right.
yep.
So which is great, except that means that they're not eligible for a lot of grants. They're supposed to be self-supporting. So I was asked what I thought of it, and I said, well, it's we all want to support the market, but they got to be on a path to self-sufficiency, because we can't just, obviously there's been problems kind of accumulating a lot of deferred maintenance and things, and there's a lot of potential, there's a huge amount of potential for that site. So between the money from the state and the money from this agricultural fund, we're looking to fund a revitalization strategy for the market, and it would really look at the whole picture, like how does this function in the community? How should it function in the community? Do they just need a new facility and fix up some of the older ones? What is the real potential for the site, and how do they get on path to being self-sufficient again before the county or anybody else really starts putting money into it? So basically, it's almost like a business plan.
And the state owns the property,
The
correct?
state owns, oh yeah, it's New York State property, yes. Yep.
With that,
It's under agri markets.
right,
Yeah.
and the buildings as well and everything?
The buildings and everything.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Slightly involved in it, yes.
Yeah. So that.
Which again adds another level of complexity as far as us trying to help and different things, because it's technically a state entity.
Yes, yeah, and I did speak with Assemblyman Magnarelli's been a great supporter of this project as well, and the folks at Agri Markets had talked to somebody there, and they were fully supportive, and I thought this was the right direction to go in.
Yeah.
So,
Vital,
Absolutely.
vital.
and it's
only
not
to
just
our
one
mission,
yeah.
but to the state's mission, to the city's mission. To
Yep.
all
And
people
it serves
across
the
the-
Big picture, absolutely.
Yeah, big, huge,
Yeah.
so.
So yeah, it's a
Last fall, they had a really nice, they put together a nice presentation and a tour and everything, and I was very happy to see that almost all of our local state representatives, were in attendance, so that was really a positive, I thought, so to get it on their radar screen. Yep.
Absolutely, yeah. So, that is, we actually have an RFP ready to go. I just need to check with, because we're receiving that state grant, I have to check with Steve to make sure we can let that out. He won't let us put it out there until, the financing is all in order, so that's gonna take work. Just gotta kind of check that box and move forward with it. And then we had, and the chairman can speak to this, just such a great turnout for the agritourism grants. They're not actually out of this pot of money, but I think we might be using some of it, moving money around.
A little bit,
So
yeah.
the demand was much higher than we anticipated.
Yeah, no, I think we're pushing 40. right?
Yeah,
Different
40 projects.
individual,
Local businesses.
applications and, yeah, no, some really, really interesting ones, some really good ones. And then, the great thing about that is, you don't realize what's going on in the county until you start seeing these, and it's really great to see all the small business people looking to, either expand or, get into the agritourism, area, so.
Yeah.
So very cool. I mean, they're small grants, their max is $15,000, but that can, that can be a game changer.
Yeah, it can go a long way.
Absolutely.
Especially smaller projects.
Yeah.
And it makes me, really looking forward to it, and it really informs, we still want to do an agritourism plan, which there's not a lot of them out there, but the ones that are, like when you read it, you're like, oh yeah, we definitely should be doing this. And some of it is simple, like working with DOT for greater safety along like Route 20. I live out in Marcel, so if you're down Route 20 in September, October, it can be pretty crazy if there's a concert up at Beacon Skiff or whatever it is. So just kind of better, not only better safety, but then there's also opportunities for, information pull-offs. Like there's some that are just kind of lagging, like up near Naxi's up in Pompey, that little pull-off there. That could be an information center for
absolutely.
tourism, like things like that. So that type of planning can really help kind of put those things on the map, and so that DOT knows that's the direction we want to go in, and then the local businesses in the community can kind of help us get those into place. So, yeah.
No, absolutely. No, all good.
And that's where we're at for Q1.
I can just, on the micro loan program too, I know economic
Oh,
development's
good.
not here, but on the micro loan, I did just get CC'd on, the LDC paperwork, so it's been filed with the state. It's the Opportunity Fund is the name of it, I think you saw it in the state of the, county. And I think by next planning, there probably should be, probably a website or something like that. It's getting up and running at this point, so it should be, based on the tiered structure modeled after the city's program. So, that's moving along, very well, and I think they should be getting applications and accepting them very shortly.
Excellent. Thank you for the update. Any questions for Dan or anyone else? 2023 was an incredible year for your department.
Yeah.
That was, we submitted or approved first the Farmland Protection Plan, which was, obviously a couple of years in the making. The great thing about that was it was made with a lot of input from our, the local agricultural stakeholders. And so I thought that was a great product. And then, on the heels of that, we had Plan Onondaga come through, again, with emphasis on, input from the towns and villages, on up putting this all together, which I think was absolutely the good approach to get buy-in from, the various towns and villages. So, so great year.
Yeah.
Great year.
And we
So.
changed our relationship with the city.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely, yep, absolutely. The city, decided to do more of their own work, which is their prerogative, and allows us to concentrate more on what we do well.
Yeah.
So, all right, if there's no other questions, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and we're adjourned.
Thank you.